Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to take a look at the, performance of INT Cell Perfect Form in Red Zone, and specifically in the Red Zone against Broly. So we're going to get a good look at just how good the INT Perfect Cell is in Red Zone, and yeah, he does a pretty good job. The big thing is his category. His category is Android Cell Saga, and it's like 4/5 of a really good team. You've got Strength Super Saiyan Goku Gohan, you've got the AGL Gohan, you've got, the INT Cell, of course. You've also got AGL Cell, who I unfortunately don't have, and I think he would be probably the last missing component that this team needs to be really good in Red Zone. But Cell himself does a fantastic job overall in Red Zone. He's incredibly reliable, his heal is super duper helpful, and he does very big damage. Not to mention he doesn't have a lot of drop off. You don't need to build stacks with him, you don't need to do anything with him. Very solid and comfortable defense wise, and then very good after his heal and his transformation. So very solid stuff from Cell, and I think overall just a very good unit that's great to run. So yeah, obviously just to kind of recap, after his EZA, Cell is 180% lead for the Android Cell Saga team. He also raises defense on his 12 key, greatly raises attack for 1 turn on his 18 key, has attack and defense of 120%, raises defense by up to 120% depending on the HP remaining, has an additional key +2 and attack of 30% per existing enemy, and has an additional attack and defense of 50% when performing a super attack. He also has a high chance of launching an additional super attack and will evolve when HP is 40% or less. When he's in his evolved form, Cell looks pretty crazy with greatly raising defense on both his 18 and his 12 key. He also fully recovers health once and will randomly change key spheres that aren't INT key spheres to rainbow key spheres. He has key +6 and attack and defense of 180% with a high chance of launching an additional super. He will reduce damage received by 3% per key sphere obtained, and he will have attack and defense of 30% when attacking with 4 or more key spheres. He has an additional attack and defense of 40% with 6 or more key spheres, and an additional attack and defense of 50% with 8 or more key spheres. He also has a full-on additional attack of 100% and a high chance of performing a crit when activating the active skill or when key is 24. So that's pretty good. To cut a long story short with you, you're going to see Cell bust out some pretty nutso numbers. Cell can really bust them out quite hard. He's also very solid defensively after super in his second form. He actually technically has worse start of turn defense because all the conditionals regarding his orbs will only kick in after he actually attacks. But here we're going to see the active skill, by the way. Very impressive, and not to mention that the active skill is does some pretty good damage, but it's going to set him up to do some pretty gnarly attack stat of his own. So yeah, Cell looks really good, and he has probably the simplest method of using him in the game, because realistically you only have to just get low health and then he appears, and then you can just select the number of orbs that you need. There's a little bit of RNG, but with him creating rainbow orbs, it does make it a lot easier overall, which is pretty good. And you can see his attack stats are pretty crazy. In general, he does a really good job, and that chance to crit at 24 means that overall he's got a very nice reliability when it comes to damage. Now obviously the main thing, overall the main thing with his kind of build is just going to be the timing of the transformation. So it's quite difficult if you're looking to get the transformation for the AGL phase in terms of timing, because obviously you need to make sure that you take just enough damage for him to transform, or you need to obviously have the transformation occur while in the AGL phase, which can be a little bit difficult because even Cell will take a lot of damage in the AGL phase. Like the base INT Cell will take around 70k with a dupe in him. So that is a fairly decent chunk of damage. It's not a small amount at all. So it is probably advisable that you not arrange the heal, but just be aware of your health thresholds and when you can heal, because it is something that can take a lot of people by surprise, and I think overall can be somewhat challenging for a lot of people. So yeah, I think personally speaking, that's maybe the only difficulty with Cell, is when that heal pops, because having the heal pop at the most opportune time maximizes it quite intensely. Like being able to heal up and then have a perfect Cell in the turn, having him bust out his huge attack stat, his active skill, all of these things is very, very good. So it's just going to depend on, you know, when that kind of situation is. And yeah, obviously that's just one of those things. It's not like manic, so it's not like you have to do it to get a good performance out of him, but it is definitely, like, how can I say, it is definitely something that makes a significant effect overall. I think personally speaking, it's you know, more than fine, but I think in general, like, it makes a noticeable difference. So when you get the heal at the right time, you're gonna see or feel like the performance was a lot better, just because of the timing of everything. When you get it at the wrong time, it, you know, can kind of feel like, damn, I used my heal, or, you know, I didn't get the transformation to pop in the right turn. That's the only thing. But yeah, I think in general, Cell just looks really good. Obviously a super strong unit, he does fine in this event. I actually like him better as a floater on the Kamehameha team in general, just because that's a stronger team. And he doesn't need big red bosses to do huge attack stats once transformed. So having him as like this floating damage dealer with his ability to heal, his solid after super defense and things like that, I think is just good in general. But yeah, it just depends on like where you're at, yeah, overall. But yeah, honestly, I think Cell did a great job, and I think he, you know, really like showed how good he is as a unit with like his damage that he's done, his healing. I don't really think there's a case to be made that Cell is not red zone sufficient. I think the Android Cell Saga team is a good team for red zone. I do think it's missing, at least my version. If I had the AGL transforming Cell, I think then I'd be sitting in a really, really, really good position. But beyond that, I think for the most part it's a very strong team. I think he operates better as a floating healer on the Kamehameha team, but I don't think Cell's performance at any point in time ever lets you down. I think overall you have a very good time when you use Cell, and I think that's obvious, at least for me, for the most part. And yeah, I think in general, if you are someone who's, you know, interested in obviously like how all these units function, or you're interested in running these teams, your Cell is going to be a super top tier selection for you in general, and you should have a fairly good time if you choose to run them. I think that's really where we're kind of going to be sitting in terms of like, okay, this person is really like, you know, working well, and this unit is carrying the run. But you can see here, I mean, you can see Cell took, you know, 77k before his super attack, so that's all fine. Obviously he took a fair chunk of damage afterwards, but yeah, let me know what you think. Bye.